The Blue Beetle director is not happy at all about the absolute flop that his film has become in the box office, and it only continues to get worse as he continues to pivot towards victim status every time he does an interview to talk about this film. And yes, he is having a very, very hard time right now. He is having a very tough time dealing with the fact that very few people wanted to go see his film. Well, maybe if you didn't push all sorts of nonsense like Batman is a fascist and identity politics throughout the entire marketing course of this film, maybe this would have had a different reception. So it's been intense. Blue Beetle director reveals emotional weight and physical exhaustion promoting James Gunn's DCU movie with ruthlessly low box office earnings. And of course, they cannot escape that fact. Even though they continue to try, they continue to blame this on all sorts of crazy stuff, including Hurricane. So Warner Brothers blames Hurricane Hillary for Blue Beetle's poor box office performance. So guys, it isn't, people not wanting to show up to see the film. That's not the reason why people aren't going to see the film. That's not why the box office has been pretty bad for this film. It has to do with hurricanes. The film brought in $25 million at the domestic box office, which was even worse than what it was projected to do. The $25 million opening weekend gross domestically earned the film the second worst DCEU opening weekend ever. The only film it beat was Wonder Woman 1984, which had a day and date release on HBO Max, meaning it released in theaters the same day it released on HBO Max, which of course was going to impact that dramatically. So Warner Brothers responded to everything that has gone on with the poor performance of this film by saying they stated the storm's impact is anticipated to be significant, particularly in Southern California where the film is over-indexing. So that is of course what they're going to blame the release of this film on, is of course hurricanes. Because why not, right? Might as well blame hurricanes if you're going to blame anything. But the cool thing about this is that despite the fact that the director of this film has been continuing to cry and whine about everything that has gone on, Zolo Maridueña, who plays, of course, the main character in the film, who did a great job. He, in a lot of ways, was the one who carried this film in ways that other people could not. He had an interesting response, and honestly a pretty good response to everything that has gone on with this film. When asked if he felt pressure for Blue Beetle to be a blockbuster hit, Maridueña said, "I'm sure for Warner Brothers there's pressure," and added that sounded a bit snarky. Maridueña expressed that he wanted Blue Beetle to be the biggest movie of all time, and that he truly feels it like it is a worldwide movie. He then pivots from his Warner Brothers call out and further elaborates, saying he thinks it should be a box office smash, but at the same time there's box office smashes that aren't the best, and vice versa. And well, I mean, he is correct about that. There are a lot of films that do not deserve the success that they get that have a lot of success. Looking at you, Barbie in particular, but we have a lot to get into, even with what the director has to say about everything that is going on, because it is only victim status for him all the time. So it's been intense. I don't like to be in front of the cameras. I don't mind having these conversations. I like it, but being in front of the camera for hours and hours and hours and then having to travel? It's cool to go places. It's not cool to travel. It gets very tiresome after a while, and the jet lag and the hour changes. Usually for me, it's more like emotional weight. Yes, you get physical exhaustion. It depends on who you interview. It's kind of exciting being in a different location, different place, different culture. So this is what he has to say about everything that is going on. This is what he's kind of blaming a lot of the failure of the film on, is the fact that they didn't allow cast members to market the film and do interviews and all this type of stuff, at least not as much as he was hoping for. I would have loved it for them to experience it, because we rarely get a chance to be leading movies, much less leading superhero movies. And of course he is bringing identity politics into this because he just can't help himself. The film isn't even like the worst thing that has come out this year when it comes to superhero films, but it doesn't break any new ground. It isn't anything that great as a film in general. And so with all of that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you've seen the film, I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.